Hey guys, it's Mark from Lot More Guitar Studio and lotmoreguitar.com, and in this lesson I'm going to show you some of my favorite licks from the song Voodoo Child. We're going to look at two live recordings, one by Stevie Ray Vaughan and one by John Mayer. This was requested by my student Anthony, so thank you, Anthony. And since it is a song originally recorded by Jimi Hendrix, I'm also going to show you possibly my favorite Jimi Hendrix lick of all time. There are so many, it's hard to choose, but this one happens in the beginning of his studio recording of Voodoo Child. So we'll take a look at that one also. I still don't have a proper strat to play, so I'm going to play my PRS, but I did tune it down to E-flat tuning for this one since all three of those recordings are in E-flat. This way, if you want to A-B it with the lick and then my instruction, you can do that pretty easily. All right, so let's get started and take a look at the first lick from Jimi Hendrix. The first lick we're going to take a look at is from the Jimi Hendrix recording of Voodoo Child, and it happens about 49 seconds into the song and sounds something like this. Alright, so remember here I'm tuned down to E-flat. So what's so great about this lick is just the rhythmic propulsion of it. It's just E minor pentatonic, so it's not complicated in a scale sense. Really just the intensity of it and the energy of it. So we're going to bend on the 15th fret, 2nd string, and then you're going to pick the 12th fret. So we're going to do that twice. So that's the 1st string, 12th fret. So after you've done that twice, you come down to the 3rd string. I use my middle finger for this. I think that's easiest. So you're going to grab the 3rd string on the 14th fret and bend it up a whole step. Now, as soon as you do that, you come to the 2nd string, 12th fret, and you hammer on and pull off the 15th fret. So, and then immediately come down to the 3rd string, bend up at the 14th fret, release and pull off to the 12th, and come down to the 14th fret of the 4th string. So, okay, now as soon as you hit that note, you come right back up to the 3rd string, pick it on the 12th fret, and hammer on the 14th fret. And immediately bend up. So, okay, then I use my pinky here to play the 2nd string. You could use your 3rd finger, so you could play around with the fingers a little bit there, but I'm using my pinky to play the 2nd string, 15th fret. Okay, you kind of let those ring together, and then you bend up again, and pull out, release it, pull off, and come down to the 14th fret of the 4th string again. So, pulling off 14, 3rd string, 12, okay, and then 14. So we have, now as soon as you do that, you come back again to the 3rd string, bend up the 14th fret, then release, you don't really release it, you come off it, and pick the 12th fret, and then up again, and then come off the bend. So I'm not doing a release there. I'm gonna, and then you end on the 12th fret of the 3rd string with a kind of like a stinging vibrato. And then he's got that slide. You know, you can do whatever you want on the 6th string there. All right, so one time slowly without talking. Let's take a look at lick number 2 from Stevie Ray Vaughan's live performance. The next lick comes from Stevie Ray Vaughan's performance of Voodoo Child from the El Macombo Club in Toronto, and one of my favorite concerts, as you all well know. And it sounds something like this. Happens about 4 minutes and 24 seconds into the song. So you might ask why that's one of my favorite licks. Short and sweet. I think it's a little interesting because of this one bend here. He takes the root note on the 17th fret, which is E, and bends it up to an F sharp, which is the 9th, which is slightly more exotic than just E minor pentatonic. He plays that note. So I thought it was interesting. You know, everything else is kind of some form of E minor pentatonic flourish. So it goes something like this. You're going to slide with your second finger up to the 16th fret of the 3rd string, then first finger on the 15th fret of the 2nd string, and then 17th fret of the 2nd string. So, and then after you've picked that 17th fret, you bend it up a whole step, and then kind of let it fall. So, and then you're going to pick 15 and 17 on the 2nd string, and then come down to the 16th fret of the 3rd string. So, now immediately he shifts back to pattern 1 of E minor pentatonic. If I didn't mention it, this is pattern 2 E minor, except for that one bend there is the 9th. So, now you shift immediately back. There's no real slide or anything. He just comes right back to the 14th fret of the 3rd string, pulls off to the 12th, and down to the 14th fret of the 4th string, back up to the 12th fret of the 3rd string, and then you're going to bend the 14th fret of the 3rd string, and then pick the 15th fret of the 2nd string. Hold those together. Now I don't have a whammy bar here, but then he takes the whammy bar and gives it a little shake. All right? So again, the whole thing slow. And then a whammy bar shake if you have one. Let's move on to lick number 3 from John Mayer's live performance of Voodoo Child. All right, lick number 3 comes from John Mayer's performance of Voodoo Child. There are probably many performances. I'll link to the one that I'm referencing in the video description. For this one, he's going to come down to the open E minor pentatonic scale, and it sounds something like this. Now, I thought this was a really cool lick. Again, he's got a million licks in there that I could choose from, but I liked this one in the open E position. We've got this little nudge bend on the 3rd fret of the 1st string. So I give it a little bit of a rake, too, with the pick. And then open E, and then 3rd fret of the 2nd string, and then pull off to the open string. So I'm sure we've all done that many times. Then you're going to grab the 2nd fret of the 3rd string and slide it up to the 4th fret, and then hit that 2nd string 3rd fret. Another very common move. And then we're going to slide back, so from 4 to 2 on the 3rd string, and pull off, and then end up on the 2nd fret of the 4th string. So we have this. All right, as soon as we do that, we're going to roll back over to the 3rd string 2nd fret. So play the open G string, the 3rd string. Then you're going to play the 2nd fret of the 4th string, pull off to the open 4th string, and end up on the 2nd fret of the 5th string. So So here's what we have so far. All right, now what I really like about this lick is that he throws in the C sharp note on the 4th fret of the 5th string. So we could say he's briefly going to E major or E Dorian, but we don't really need to overanalyze it, but it's kind of a cool note to throw in that run, not that common. So he goes back, he goes fourth string, fourth fret, fifth string, to the second fret, fourth string, and back to fourth fret, fifth string. So now he's got his back turned at this point in the video, but I think he bends the G on the fifth fret, fourth string, slightly. You could use the open G also, but he's got a little bend on it, so I think he's doing this. Okay, you could probably do either one. Or I like giving it that little extra nudge there. So after you do that, then you come down to the second string, fourth string, second fret, pull off to the open, and then second fret, fifth string. So now we move back to the first fret on the fifth string. We're going to do a open, hammer on the first fret, pull off, down to the third fret, sixth string. So, okay, it's very similar to something in Stevie Ray Vaughan does in Pride and Joy. So, and then you're going to play the open fifth string, back to the first fret, back to open, third fret, sixth string, and then open. And then hit the open, top two strings. Okay? So here's the whole thing slowly so we can digest this a little bit. Again, that happens in the beginning before he starts singing, around 1 minute and 15 seconds in. Super cool lick. That's a blast to play. Have fun with that one. Hopefully you can break it down, and we'll move on to lick number 4. Lick number 4 is a ferocious E minor pentatonic flourish from Stevie Ray Vaughan. Happens around 4 minutes and 52 seconds into the performance. And it sounds something like this. Now, that's such a great lick. Now what's going on here is he's going to take the 15th fret of the first string and bend it up a whole step. Okay, so you're looking, I'm sorry, 2 steps. So you're kind of looking for the pitch up here on the 19th fret. It's real wailing, and he kind of lets it down slow. And then he goes back up with just like, kind of like more like a whole step bend there. And then picks the 15th fret alone on the first string. So, okay, so after you do that bend, you hammer on and off the 14th fret. So there's that 9th again. And then, so you hammer on and off 12 to 14, pull off, and then go down to 15 on the second string. Then pick the 12th fret of the first string twice. And then come back to a bend on the second string, 15th fret. So slowly without talking here. That's the first part of the lick. The second part of the lick is he's going to come down the minor pentatonic scale, 12th fret of the first string, 15th fret of the second, 12th fret of the second. So, and then bending the 14th fret of the third string, again, very common move. And then he's kind of like strums the top 2 strings there. Yeah, let me get my bearings for a second here. Yeah, so he's going to strum those after the bend, and then come back down 15th fret of the second string, pull off to the 12th. So, and then when you grab the 14th fret of the third string, you're going to bend it up, release it, pull off to the 12th fret. That's all third string there. Down to the 14th fret of the third string. You can see some commonality between these licks, right? And then back up to the 12th fret of the third string. And he briefly pauses there, a little bit of the push-pull of the blues. And and then bends the 14th fret of the 3rd string again. And then we have this kind of like slide on the 6th string. So the whole thing's slow. We've got this 2-step bend. And down the scale. Really great lick. Again, about 4 minutes and 52 seconds. There's a lot of licks like that in there, so I just chose that one to kind of break it down for you. Let's move on to lick number 5 from John Mayer. Our 5th and final lick comes once again from John Mayer's performance, and it happens around 3 minutes and 39 seconds or so into the performance. And it is definitely the quirkiest of the bunch. This sounds something like this. So what's going on here? Well, this one is kind of based on the note choices, really kind of referencing E Dorian, which again is adding a C sharp note on the 14th fret of the 2nd string and an F sharp. And then in the intervals he plays down here, we're kind of referencing those same notes. So he plays this lick where he pulls off the 15th fret of the 2nd string to the 12th, and then picks the 14th fret of the 2nd string. That's the C sharp. So I guess that would be the Dorian note. A little more exotic sounding than straight up E minor pentatonic. So here we do this, and then he kind of comes down with a flourish here in E minor. So then I'm going to bring my pinky up to the F sharp 14th fret 1st string and kind of slide that back. Now you could use your 3rd finger also, but I'm just using my pinky here. And I'm sliding back, and I'm going to play the 6th fret of the 3rd string and the 7th fret of the 1st, and then kind of like play those together. So you have, and then you're going to slide up to a D, which is the 7th fret of the 3rd string, and another, there's the C sharp again, 9th fret 1st string. Okay. So slowly we have this. Evokes like John Scofield type playing, you know, like it's really cool interval. It's a minor 2nd, but it's up an octave. So really interesting lick here. So this one jumped out at me. You know, there's plenty of licks in here that I could grab, but I really like this one. So he does that twice. All right, and then he finishes that sequence with same lick, and then he comes down with his thumb on the 7th fret of the 6th string and kind of strums up almost like a B minor chord. And then he does this, you know, we saw this in a couple of Stevie Ray Vaughan's tunes also. He kind of rakes up the 7th fret there and then uses his 3rd finger to play the 9th fret of the 1st string. So there's that note again, the C sharp, right? And then he does this lick. So we're going to rake up, pick the 9th fret, hammer on and off. So that's between 9 and 7 there. Then go to the 10th fret of the 2nd string. And then play kind of like the 7th fret again, 3rd and 2nd string. So it's like... Okay, he does that 3 times, and then he pulls off 10, 11, 7. I'm sorry, 10, 9, 7. And then goes back to that lick. So let me just kind of do that slow so you can get a sense of the rhythm there. So remember, we have these two twice. Again. Again. Now. Down to the B minor. Okay, so he does that. And then I'm going to keep doing it. So So I do that 3 times. Break, pick, hammer, or trill, and then 10th fret, 2nd string, back to the 7th fret on the 3rd and 2nd strings. Now, after the 3rd time, I'm going to pull off 10, 9, 7, and then back to picking the 9th fret. This is all on the 1st string, and then the trill, and then the lick. So we have. Now, after that, he kind of holds those 2 and does a whammy bar. Again, I don't have the whammy bar here. And he kind of takes that down with the bar. So that's kind of how he finishes it off. All right, so since that one's so quirky, let me just do that one more time without talking so you can kind of follow along. I'll try to do it as close to the rhythm as I can. I screwed that one up. Let me do that 3rd one again. Okay, now pull off 10-9. I promised I wouldn't talk there, so sorry. I'll do that one more time. That off. So really cool lick there, a little bit quirky, a little bit Berkeley-esque with the E Dorian scale, but definitely a cool take and kind of takes you out of E minor pentatonic there for a couple of seconds. So so those are my 5 favorite licks from the 3 performances. Obviously there's a ton more, but have some fun with those, and we'll see you in the next lesson. I hope you enjoyed this edition of my 5 favorite licks featuring Voodoo Child as performed by Stevie Ray Vaughan, John Mayer, and of course the man himself, Jimi Hendrix. Shout out to my student Anthony for the idea for this one. If you guys have any ideas for future videos, please leave them in the comments below and hit the subscribe button, and I'll see you in the next lesson.